Gemini 2.5, the new update, as you can see right here, versus Claude versus ChatGPT. Who wins? We're going to be comparing them side by side and testing which ones are the best. Got a bunch of different tests and use cases to check this through. Let's see how it goes, all right? First thing that we're going to do is we're going to test this prompt right here for writing content, all right? So we're going to say, write a 2,000 word article, the future of AI agents, the impact on automation, etc. And we'll hit this into each option like you can see right here. All right, so we're going to be testing this out versus each of these models. I'm going to use ChatGPT 4 because that's kind of like the default one for writing inside ChatGPT, and then we'll see which one comes back with the outputs and performs the best. First thing I would say is Grok has come back to us and seems to be the fastest, but actually if you look at the content itself, look at those big walls of text, look at the way it's written, right? Would anyone actually read that blog? And so for me, that's one of the worst that I've seen so far. Let's have a look what we got here from ChatGPT 4.0. So this is pretty nice, the way it's written. So what is an AI agent? It's dumbed down the language, made it nicely formatted, made it really easy to read, as you can see right here, and that's performing pretty well. In plain English, an AI agent is software that takes action for you based on goals or prompts. You give an objective, it decides what to do next. Pretty nicely written, feels very humanized. It's still writing out, but you can see how fast it is, and it's also doing like the 2,000 words that we asked it to. So that is doing a great job. Let's have a look at Claude. Claude is one of my favorite ones if you give it the right prompt. But if you give it a prompt like this, look at this, just really long, boring walls of text. I'm going to put that as coming in third. I think maybe slightly better than Grok, but not as good as ChatGPT. And then we got Gemini's written the blog here, but that is more like a deep research report, right? Who would read that? And so out of all of them, I'm going to say that ChatGPT is winning by a long way, right? Long, long way. So when it comes to writing, pretty good. Now, one thing that I would just note here is if you give it the right prompt, I've got this prompt inside the AI Profit Boardroom here. If you give it a better prompt, Claude is actually pretty good for writing, but it seems like if you don't have the right prompts in place, look at how bad that is compared to the output from ChatGPT that required basically no prompting at all. Huge difference right there. All right, so next up, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into each and I'm going to say, okay, new chat, create a beautiful landing page for my SEO agency's website. All right. Now, one thing to note here is if you want to use Gemini 2.5 Pro for free, you can do that inside AI Studio. Go to create prompt, then select Gemini 2.5 Pro experimental, and you can get access to this for free. All right. So, that's one of the other options that I would say here is all of these models are free up to a limit. But actually, if you use AI Studio, that doesn't seem to have a limit. Like you can use it for free as much as you want, peeps, all right? So we're gonna go back here now. We'll do the same inside Grok as well. The cool thing about Claude is it has a canvas option. So does ChatGPT. And let's go back here. What we're actually gonna do is use 2.0 Flash for generating this inside Google because it has a canvas option. We'll hit enter and we'll see what we get back in a second, all right? So now we've got the code back from ChatGPT. Let's run this, see how it looks. It's not bad. The content itself actually reads really well, right? That's better written than most people. It's got a nice little CTA to put in your website URL, nicely designed icons. I don't like the front end so much because it's super boring in terms of the way that it's done. Claude is still writing. Grok didn't even figure out we need HTML. So that's going to finish last again for me, to be honest. It's been a brutal test for Grok already, to be honest with you. And we're going to keep going through this. So you can see the output from Grok here. It said I can't directly generate HTML or CSS, which is mad because Grok can, right? It genuinely can, but it's refusing to. So Grok has to come last on that test. It's just no good. I don't know why, but Gemini is written in Chinese characters. The design is pretty nice, but for some reason it's written it all in Chinese. Why? Why have you done that? I've never seen that before. All right, let's go back to ChatGPT is winning just by default for writing in English. But look at that from Claude. Claude has created the best so far. Nicely designed. Looks really cool. Good UI. I like the color gradients on it. Nice copy as well. So dominate search results with data-driven SEO. Really nice headline. So in this order, here's what I'm going to say. Claude has won that by a long way. ChatGPT comes in second. Not bad at all. It just could do with a bit of color on the page, but you could always go back in the chat right there. Gemini totally failed and gave us something in Chinese, and I still don't understand why. That's a bit mad. And then Grok said, I can't create HTML for you, even though it's got a preview section inside Grok 3 for HTML. It just didn't understand, right? So out of all these, you're going to go with Claude, I would say, for doing this stuff, which is crazy. I don't understand. Like, Grok seems to have got worse or something like that. So let's keep going now. And next up, what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a prompt from the AI Profit Boardroom for creating games. All right. So we're going to go inside the classroom here. And I've already done this inside AI Studio, so I don't need to do this with Gemini 2.5 Pro yet, but I will do it with the rest. Okay. So we're going to go inside Claude here, and I'm going to say, make me a captivating endless runner game. Key instructions on screen. Use P5JS, no HTML, pixelated dinosaur, and interesting backgrounds. Right. We'll use the same inside ChatGPT 4.0. Grok, I don't know what it's going to come back to me with. Oh yeah, look, it's actually doing its magic now. That is surprising. And then if you want to see the output from Gemini 2.5 Pro that I've already done, let me come back to this right here. So this is a prompt that I used yesterday. We'll scroll down and we will get this code, and I'll show you what we got back from Gemini 2.5 Pro. Right? So if you want to preview code like this, if you're using the same prompts as me, you can plug this into editor.p5js.org. And then inside here, we can hit play, and you can see that we've got this bad boy ready to go. All right, looks pretty cool. Nice little game, functions perfectly, quite addictive. And we've got the score racking up in the top right over there, and then it works perfectly. If we want to restart, we press enter, press space to start it. Boom. Beautiful. All right. Really good from Google Gemini. So they've done a great job there. Claude is still coming back to us. ChatGPT has come back now. So let's see what we got back from ChatGPT. We'll copy the code and we'll test this one. So this is the code from ChatGPT. Let's see what we got back. What is that UI? I can't jump or anything. It says, yeah, that's pretty poor. That is not a dinosaur, mate. Not a pixelated dinosaur, and definitely not a dinosaur. Claude is still coding it out, so wait for that. And we have the code back from Grok 3 as well. So let's see what we get back here. So far, Gemini is winning by a long way. The UI is not quite as nice here. So you see how it's green on green? But it works. It's definitely better than ChatGPT's option. It's better. It's not quite as fast and as smooth. If you look at the UI of this versus the UI of Gemini, this looks a lot nicer, to be fair to it. So far, what I would say is the Grok is coming in second so far. Gemini is winning. ChatGPT, I didn't like the UI at all. Let's have a look what we got back from Claude. Is it opening up? It's giving us a preview, but there's nothing inside the preview, which is strange, all right? So we're just going to copy this code and we'll go to P5JS and just preview this again to see how Claude performed. Pixelated dinosaur runner. Let's test it out. Not bad, actually. That is a hard game to play, though. Look at that. How are you meant to... That's hard, mate. Yeah, I like it, though. Not going to lie to you. So I would say that if it was actually beatable, because it seems like it's almost impossible to beat that, then I would probably put that number one or joint first. I would say that Claude and Gemini did a fantastic job there. Grok's output was okay, mediocre. I'm going to put that number 3. ChatGPT's UI, pretty terrible. It's just a block with a bit of text, right? Not great. So you can see who's winning there and who won the game right there. All right. So let's keep going through now. So we've tested it for content writing, for coding out landing pages. We've tested each of these models for creating content and also building out games as well. What are we going to do next? So the next one that we're going to do is this is going to be kind of like a reasoning test. So we're going to go inside Claude and reset for each one here. Switch back to 2.5 Pro Experimental inside Google. I want to say there's a tree on the other side of a river in winter. How can I pick an apple? It's a reasoning test. And what we're trying to do here is figure out, okay, which one is the best for reasoning, logic, which one gives us the best solutions, and which one most intelligently looks up problem and then gives us solutions, right? So we're just waiting for each one to come back to us right now. And we'll see who performs the best. So let's see what we got here. All right, so it's recognized that the biggest challenge is apples in winter. So obviously in winter, if you're trying to pick trees on the other side of a river, it's not going to be ideal, right? Because quite likely, even if you cross the river, there's going to be no apples in winter. So it's figured that out. It's analyzed the situation really well, and it's given us a bunch of solutions right here. Pretty good. Let's check out now. Claude has recognized the same, but it doesn't analyze it in the same level of depth, right? So for example, if you compare Gemini 2.5 Pro, it's really thought about it. It's given us a really in-depth answer. It's analyzed all the problems and solutions and the conclusion, etc. I would say Claude doesn't do that in as much detail. If we have a look at Grok, it's recognized that apples typically don't grow in winter, but I don't like the way the answer is not logically set out, right? So if you look at, you've got these titles, it's really easy to read. I think that Grok has been tuned down in terms of its reasoning. Like, it just doesn't seem to be as powerful as it was when it was first released. I would say that is harder to read than this one right here, and it's just not as logical or as well reasoned out. And let's have a look at ChatGPT. So let's break this down. It's an apple, there's a tree, it's across a river, it's winter. So let's look through it step by step. But the biggest problem here is it's not figured out that there's actually there's no apples in winter on the tree, right? It's not figured that out when it's done all this analyzing. So if I had to put these in order, I'm going to go with Gemini, then Claude, then Grok 3, and ChatGPT 4.0 comes last. Now, if we wanted to give this a fairer way of comparing each model, then what I would actually recommend doing is you switch to 0.1 and use one of the reasoning models. And to be honest, if we did that, we'd probably get much better outputs. But I believe, doesn't ChatGPT, let me have a look at this. No. So yeah, if you wanted to switch this over to, for example, 0.3 mini, let's test it out now, and we'll see if that figures it out. So we're using ChatGPT 0.3 mini. It's going to use its reasoning model to figure this out. That's even worse, isn't it? Look at the quality and responses of ChatGPT 0.3 mini versus Gemini. Like, it's totally night and day. So let's have a look here. It says, worried about crossing a cold, icy river in winter, wondering blah, blah, blah. And it still doesn't recognize that there's no apples on a tree in winter. All right, so ChatGPT mini, using the most powerful reasoning model it has, is not as powerful as Gemini 2.5 advanced, right? So again, ChatGPT comes in last, whether you're using GPT 4.0 or whether you're using mini, still down, my friends, all right? So you can see the difference between the models, how well they perform, etc. The other thing is as well, inside ChatGPT 4.0, we're going to test this out now. This is a really interesting test, so we can do step by step. We're going to do a test I actually used this morning using chat and the new image generation method, all right? Now, Claude automatically fails on this test or isn't even in the race here because it cannot generate images. So you can't even count Claude at this point, right? But what we can do is we can test each of these models, and ChatGPT has given me a really good option right here for image generation. All right. So what we're going to do inside Grok is we're going to use exactly the same prompt we use inside ChatGPT. And we said, create a landscape YouTube thumbnail like this, but it should be regarding the end of designers, about new ChatGPT update. That means we don't need designers anymore. And I'm going to plug this in across each of the models, right? So the output from ChatGPT was top class. I've never seen anything as good as this from any other AI model. It was unbelievable, really powerful, just from the newest update from ChatGPT. And let's do the same thing inside Grok, all right? So if we go inside Grok here, and we'll start a new chat just to keep things fresh. We'll grab that image that we used inside the ChatGPT prompt. We're going to use that inside Gemini. Obviously, Claude is out of the race, and we'll see how it does, all right? This one might take a minute or so whilst we're waiting. And from what I can see, the output from Gemini 2.5, not very good. Not very good at all. If we compare what we should have got versus what actually came back, not that great. If we use, maybe we use like the actual main version 2.0 Flash. Let's test that again. So I'm going to retest this. Grok as well is not done anything near as good as ChatGPT, right? Look at the output from ChatGPT versus the output from Grok. This is, I can't use that. You know what I mean? Can't use that. So you can see the differences here. And you can see that Grok is nowhere near the same level as ChatGPT. Let's have a look at Gemini, and we'll use 2.0 Flash instead. So we'll use exactly the same prompt. Let's grab the image over here, plug that into Gemini, and then we'll do the same thing and see what we get back. Yeah, look at that. It's just come back with a text message. Where's the image, mate? So not great there. Yeah, if you compare all the models here, 2.5 Pro's response was pretty poor. Grok didn't create anything near the same level of quality. And Claude obviously can't do that at all. So hands down, ChatGPT delivers like designer level quality responses, right? Like I can just download that, boom, upload it to YouTube. It's over. It's game over. You don't need a designer, right? That's the biggest difference here. And I think whatever you use for images, GPT-4o is like the new standard for all this stuff. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to my best prompts, tips, workflows, etc., including 9 ways to build anything that you want with Gemini, feel free to get that with the SPs inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This comes with all of my best AI workflows, tips, tutorials, templates, etc., and even a crash course on how to use AI and save time and make more money with it, along my best SPs. And also, inside the Q&A section, you can jump on the weekly Q&As here and ask any questions you have. On top of that, inside the community, you can ask any questions that you want. We've got 557 members, all dedicated to making more money and saving time with AI. So feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Prices are actually going up this month, so make sure you lock in your legacy price now before you miss out. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits this month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. And on this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a custom tailored game plan to generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building, answer any questions you have one-to-one, and you'll learn the best link building strategies for you, plus how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.